Taking a look at some of the Real Madrid players so far throughout this tournament, I think a lot have done really well. Some have actually not done so well. So take a look at some of that. Starting with Germany, right? We have Toni Kroos and Rudiger starting for Germany. Both did pretty well, I think, in the tournament. Rudiger, unfortunately, did betray his own team and did put it in the back of the net when they played Scotland. But overall, I thought he had a pretty good game. He was pretty dominant. The ball that actually came in for him, he was trying to save the ball, but I don't know what else he can really do. Toni Kroos, though, looks phenomenal. He continues to defy his age, and honestly, he doesn't need to retire. He's choosing to retire. I think that's a big thing. Some people are forced into retirement. Toni Kroos is choosing to retire at this time. I mean, honestly, he's still probably one of the best midfielders in the world. And if you look at the game against Scotland, I think he had 99% passing. He's just shooting the ball all over the place, just great passes all around. He didn't have any assists in the game or anything, but he was crossing the ball in to set up for the pass to be an assist. And he continues to do that, to be able to go from where he is in the field to send it out wide to like the right wing. It's insane. He's continued to do well. I'd expect a really big tournament for him the rest of the way. Moving over to Spain. Spain played Croatia in round one. Nacho and Carvajal both get the start, and actually Carvajal gets on the board. He is developing. Screw it. Put him at the right wing next season. He scored in the Champions League final now, and he scored in round one. And I do have to shout out Lamine Yamal for that pass. That was a great pass from him. But yeah, Carvajal, he just has a knack for scoring right now. The last two games, like, that actually means something. He's put the ball in the back of the net. So Carvajal played really good. I thought Nacho played pretty good overall. I think for him, Croatia, they're a decent team, but Spain looked super dominant, winning the game 3-0. Speaking of Croatia, Modric had a pretty good game against Spain. Unfortunately, Croatia got absolutely demolished in that game. Nothing really they could do. From Modric's perspective, he's playing midfielder. He can't be the one who's dependent on to be the scorer for Croatia. Croatia doesn't really have the attackers to do anything. Modric can make the pass. He can make the run still. He's 38, 39. But he can still do it. He can't do it for a full 90 back-to-back games in like this tournament. So I had really high expectations for Croatia. I definitely, because of the Real Madrid glasses that I have, I just thought Modric could be able to carry them. I don't think Croatia is going to even make it out of the group stage. Honestly, I think you're probably going to see Spain and Italy make it out, and honestly, maybe even Albania. So moving our attention to England, Bellingham is the best player for England, not even close. He's the captain of the team. I don't know what they're doing having Harry Kane be it. He's the person who's vocal leading out there. He's yelling at everybody, telling them to focus up, to press up. England had a real lackluster game. If it wasn't for Bellingham, I don't even know if they make it out of the group stage, which is an incredible hot take. But I think for me, with Bellingham, he does play the best as a 10, right? And the funny thing is they have Foden, who people are like, oh, well, Foden also plays the best as a 10. Who's the best 10 in the world right now? It's Bellingham. Why would you move Bellingham deeper in a position and take the person who's best at that position, put him deeper because you have another player? It could be the argument, well, you want to have your best 11 out there. I don't know. Bellingham, he scores in this game. He has a brilliant header. He just smashes into the back of the net. But overall, I mean, if it wasn't for him, England's going to struggle, I think. I think it's a combination of maybe some of the attitude. I think a lot of these players, though, just think they're almost too good for this thing, which is weird. It's just like, what are you guys doing? But yeah, Bellingham, he should be the captain of the team today at 20, which is insane to say, but he's definitely going to be in the future. He's their number 10. He's the best player. He's probably the best midfielder in the world, honestly. And he's just class. He had a great game for them, and I think that's going to continue if he stays at the 10. I think if they push him back further into a double pivot with Declan Rice, he's not going to have the stats that he would. Being in the 10 position, he has the ability to freely run around, play box to box, go in for a header. If he's playing in a double pivot, he's not going to have that option. So for his benefit, I think he's best to stay at the 10, and I think for England to actually go farther, I think he should be a 10 as well. Looking at France now, Real Madrid have the most players playing for France. You have Mbappe, Camavinga, Mendy, and Tchouaméni. Now, only Mbappe actually started this game, which is a little interesting. Speaking of Mbappe first, breaks his nose in this game. He looked pretty good. I thought he had a couple good runs. I think he starts as a 9, right? And then he moves to the left wing, which is kind of what I think he'll be doing for Real Madrid this season. Him and Vinny are going to be switching a lot, but he starts as a 9, but he makes most of his runs as like a left winger. He had a wide open run in this game, but he couldn't capitalize on it. I think he's scoring that 9 out of 10 times, but just the one time he doesn't get it. In this game as well, Mbappe goes to head the ball and absolutely smashes against an Austrian defender. His nose, that was gross. The second he hit it, I was like, oh, is he okay? And I was like, I think he's bleeding out there. And oh yeah, he was bleeding. His nose was just crooked and just gross. So he's going to have to wear a mask for the next couple of games. I don't think he's going to be playing against the Netherlands this Friday. He might not even play the rest of the group stage, honestly. So we'll see what happens with that. But definitely the rest of this tournament, if he does play, he's going to be wearing a mask. And I think that's going to carry over to when he's playing for Real Madrid this season. I think he's going to have to wear a mask to start the season. So, Mbappe's not known to be a person who's going to go head the balls. I'm not sure how many headers he's had. Definitely not as many as some of these other like main strikers, like a Haaland. Haaland's scoring way more with his head than Mbappe would be, but he'll probably be wearing a mask for Real Madrid to start the season. So we'll see how that goes for him. Looking at Camavinga comes on later, and Camavinga honestly should be starting, in my opinion, over Rabiot. France, they like Rabiot a lot. I understand that. I think he's a decent player, but he hasn't had a great season where Camavinga has been awesome. And that's the sort of the weird thing where you have somebody who's awesome for their club, but then doesn't get the start for their country. Doesn't make a lot of sense, but when Camavinga did come on, he played great, as he always does, in the CDM role for him. Mendy doesn't come on. I think it's going to be hard for him to get in over Hernandez. Hernandez is class, honestly. If he wants to come back to Real Madrid in the future, I wouldn't be opposed to that, so we'll see what happens. And Tchouaméni actually doesn't appear in this game either. He's still recovering from his injury, right? I'm not sure when he'll be back, but maybe they're just trying to save him and have him rest a little while they're in the group stage. They did get the 3 points, and so we'll see what happens as we move forward. For Ukraine, we had Lunin, who had a just abysmal game for him. He lets in 3 goals. Now, 2 of them were absolute rippers, and I don't think there was really much that he could do. But, yeah, just not a great game for him. His last couple outings haven't been great. I think he let in, 5 goals a couple weeks ago in this last outing. It just might, like I said, the 2 of the goals were just absolute bangers. Now, he probably could have done a little better, and so maybe it's a lack of starting maybe the last couple games just because we did have Courtois starting, but not a great game for Lunin for Ukraine. Now, last but certainly not least, we focused on Turkey, and Arda Güler is amazing. That he scores this goal, which to me is the goal of the tournament so far. He looks so good. It's crazy to me because he's 19 and he's clearly the best Turkish player out there. He's probably going to be their captain in a couple of years. I think the only reason he wouldn't be captain is because he's a little shyer and stuff. But I think being around some more of the Turkey players, he's a lot more comfortable because he knows how good he is. And being able to speak his native language and everything like that, compared to playing for Real Madrid, I think next year for Madrid he's going to be a lot more comfortable, especially if he's getting more minutes. Coming in and having this star boy status that he kind of did, and how good is this kid, and then not getting the minutes, it's kind of a little overwhelming for him. But for Turkey, he looked awesome. Just down the right wing, the passes he was making, the dribbles he was making, the control that he has. And then the shot-making ability. He takes this ball outside the box, left foot, top corner. Amazing goal. The confidence that he has is absolutely insane. So I look for Arda Güler to continue to dominate for Turkey and to continue to have a great tournament. Now, I expect Turkey definitely to get out of this group stage, if not continue even further. I could see them maybe even making it, honestly, quarterfinals. If Arda Güler can get them to quarterfinals, that is a awesome accomplishment. So shout out to Arda Güler. I think he's been great. I can't wait to watch him play for Real Madrid more this season. I would love him to play more as like a right wing, honestly. I kind of want to talk about in the future what we do with Arda Güler, what we do with Brahim, and then what we do with Endrick. I think those are the three main attacking subs that we really need to talk about, kind of see how their role fits and stuff. So I'll be making another video for that. But yeah, it's been a great round one. I think overall the Real Madrid players have done really well so far. A couple of people can do a little more improvement and stuff, but we have a couple more games to go. So if you like this video, please give it a like, comment, let me know who you think the best player so far for Real Madrid has been. There's been a couple people. For me, got to give it to Bellingham. He's the best midfielder in the world right now. And if it wasn't for him, I don't think England definitely doesn't win that game. And I don't even know if they make it out of the group stage, but let me know what you think in the comments below. Appreciate you watching. Have a good day. Cheers.